hormones actually dictate where fat is placed on the body. So if you have a problem with your sleep, you actually find that you'll have more fat around your calves.
Hi, I'm Nick Nanton, and welcome to World Fitness Elite. I've got one of the awesome trainers of the year here today, Eddie Fajardo. Eddie, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Nick. Glad to be here.
So, Eddie, I know you're in the Sarasota, Bradenton area, and you're doing some very, very cool things. So let's talk a little bit about your unique approach to health and fitness.
Yeah, what's truly exciting and what I'm doing is actually I'm accelerating fat loss in a way that most people have never looked at. So what we found with, actually what I found with my research is that hormones actually dictate where fat is placed on the body. So if you have a problem with your sleep, you actually find that you'll have more fat around your calves. You may have never thought that, well, you have fat on your calves. You probably thought, oh my God, this is another place I have to worry about now. But because of that, because of the measurements that I take, I can actually say, okay, you're not producing enough growth hormone. We need to tackle your sleep. And when you have enough growth hormone, you actually burn fat at an exponential rate. It's one of the best fat burners that you can have. So if somebody's coming to me and they have trouble areas, a lot of women are always like, oh, I got to get rid of my stomach, my sides are bothering me.
It goes to my thighs, personally.
Yeah. Well, I can look at them, take their measurements through a body fat process. Then I plug it into a software program. Then that tells me, okay, these top 3 areas need to be fixed. How do we fix those? Okay, if you're heavier around the sides and your stomach, you actually have a problem with stress and insulin. And so as Americans, we all have a problem. It's my mentor says Americans haven't found a carb that they didn't like. So that's an issue, especially nowadays with diabetes on the rise and obesity on the rise. And if we can control that, you actually start losing weight, fat actually, from those key areas. And if you control your insulin, you actually control the stress response and the stress hormone. So everybody's individual. No one's taking a cookie cutter approach. And so we look at you and say, this is what's wrong with you. Here are the steps. Here's what you need to be eating. This is the training routine we got for you. And these are the supplements that are going to accelerate your progress if you choose to go down that road.
Awesome. Well, that's very cool. And I personally had never heard of that either until you and I started talking about that. And that's one of the reasons why you're named to World Fitness Elite Trainers of the Year, because you're bringing really cool, unique stuff to fitness. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about kind of your mission and your vision for doing this, because obviously you're one of the best in the world at what you do. Mm-hmm. But the reason why you do it, I think, is so much cooler. So let's talk about your mission and vision a bit.
Well, I got started in this, it's kind of funny. It basically started when I was out of health insurance, and I wasn't covered anymore, and I thought, well, if I get sick, I need to know what I need to do. So I started discovering all these paths down medical information that told me, okay, this is the true underlying factor with this problem, this is this and that. And that led me to actually learning about health and weight loss, fat loss, etc. And I was following a great strength coach. His name is Charles Poliquin, and I learned a lot from him. That technique that I mentioned is named biosignature. I learned the whole process through him, and he studies something called functional medicine. And when I learned all these things, I thought to myself, well, I can use it on myself, but even my direct family, my friends, they need something like this as well. And that's kind of what motivated me to say, okay, let me bring this up and bring this out to the public, because I feel that a lot of people need to know the truth about certain things and the best ways to tackle their problems, especially when it comes to weight. A lot of people come to me and they have, issues with self-esteem, or they may have issues with just their health in general. They're very scared that something's going to happen. And everything I've learned has helped me to deal with someone who is pre-diabetic all the way to having fibromyalgia. It gives me a lot of fulfillment because I appreciate helping people and seeing their lives change. And to be able to be a part of that is very significant for me.
That's awesome. And, you know, it's so funny. People think when they see a trainer, and again, obviously, you're not just any trainer, you're one of the trainers of the year, World Fitness Elite. So a big step up. But most people don't understand that. People like you educate yourself a lot before. You don't. It's not just telling people, you know, what weights they got to lift and how many pounds they got to lift and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you're an educated guy, went to school, you have certifications in fitness beyond your degrees. So very cool, a brilliant guy. I'm glad to hear you're doing such great things. You know, I've known you for a while now, and you've told me some great stories about some people you've helped, but our audience doesn't know those stories. So can you share those a little bit with us?
Yeah. Recently, my friend came to me. She basically was just wanting to lose some weight. She's been battling a weight for a long time, since high school. And so she came to me, it's like, I'm down, I'm ready to get this under control. And I thought to myself, okay, you know, you're my friend, I'm definitely gonna help you out. Then a little bit later, we find out she was actually getting ready to go to the reserves. She's been going, she's a phlebotomist, and she wants to say, well, I wanna go travel and I wanna be outside of the city, I wanna see the world and stuff like that. And so we've been helping her. She needed to cut weight in order just to get to basic training. And, you know, just to apply, she had to break 165. Now she's about 155, and she's ready to go to 145. And to me, to help her was great, because not only was she just looking to feel good, but it was also affecting her life on something more significant than just looking well. It was going to bring her to a new step in her life, bring her to another place of the world, let her see and enjoy things that she probably never could have.
That's awesome, man. That's a really great story. Cool. Well, I'm sure there's tons of people in the Sarasota and Bradenton areas who are watching this right now who said, I need that guy's help. I got a little extra on my thighs, got a little extra on the stomach, and Eddie can help. So, Eddie, how can they reach you, man?
Well, they can give me a call at our number, 941-479-0806, or they can visit my website, www.primalperformance.com.
Awesome. They can find you on Facebook. Just find you up there
definitely.
too, right?
Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations.